Hi everybody, it's EK from EK Gorman Designs, and I'm coming in today to share with you a slightly different card featuring products from Elizabeth Craft Designs. I made a puzzle, and to start it off, I die cut with the puzzle heart die set. I used two pieces of paper starting with the black over the white because I wanted that black paper to leave that little bit of residue behind like a real puzzle. And then I pulled out some stamps and stamped onto the die cut pieces. You're probably wondering why I didn't die cut or didn't stamp first and die cut second. There's something about stamping over the die cuts that left kind of an authentic puzzle feel. I wanted to make literally a puzzle. Both of my daughters are puzzle obsessed, so this year for Valentine's Day, I decided to make them little heart puzzles instead of Valentine's Day cards. And I wanted it to have that, like, I bought it out of a box puzzle feel. And to do that, I needed to stamp on top of the die cut. I know it sounds silly, but for me, it was the most authentic way to have that puzzle look. Yes, it made it slightly more difficult, but apparently that's what I do, is try to make things as difficult on myself as possible. You'll notice I am the world's worst stamper, like hands down the world's worst stamper. Thank goodness somebody invented stamping platforms because, yeah, I wasted a lot of paper prior to them not being able to read ink. Because I stamped on top of the die cuts, I did need to go back in with my microfine pen and touch up just slightly at the seams in a couple places. Oh, and for anybody who doesn't know, I dropped a piano on my finger and I'm still healing, thus the lovely blue finger with the splint. It's getting better. I'm almost to a place where I don't need this splint, and then I whack my finger onto something, and yeah, need the splint all over again. My coloring today is really simple. Most everything only has one or two colors. This wasn't about the coloring, it was about adding color. So, like I said, my coloring is really, really simple. It just kind of touches into the places where I want color. I used my Copics, and like I said, I wanted it to be nice and bright and loving. This particular puzzle was made for my older daughter. I made a second puzzle featuring a teddy bear from the Teddy Bear Picnic stamp set by Krista Schneider. This is the Laundry Party. The floral stamps you're looking at are coming from the Laundry Party stamp set, which just recently released in January, also by Krista Schneider. Like I said, two daughters, two different ages, two different looks. And I stamped up, actually made the first one with the teddy bears on it, and then thought people might actually get a kick seeing how I created the puzzle to make it an actual puzzle, so I pulled out the camera to make the second one. So I don't have any video footage of making the first one, only the second one, but I have pictures of this first one, so ta-da! You'll notice I made a little boo-boo. I started to color a flower the wrong color. The great thing about Copics is if you make a boo-boo, you can undo boo-boos often with just by going over it with a different color and blending out the first color or the mistake color. I wish I could say there was something special about the coloring today. There's not. It's just me adding color inside the floral images to make them kind of happy. I think the most fancy coloring I did here was on the blue, where I blended out. Yes, I have a little mistake, and God bless Color Bliss Blender for fixing it. Now here's how I make the puzzle more puzzle-like. So the white cardstock I used was a 110-pound cardstock, which is a pretty thick cardstock to begin with. And then the black cardstock, you know, I don't even know the weight of the black. It's just black cardstock I have laying around my house. But when you glue the two of them together with, and I'm using some Ranger Glossy effects, when you glue the two together, suddenly it becomes more of a cardboard feel, and it has the ability to snap into each other like an actual puzzle. So when you go to assemble it, it assembles instead of just kind of fitting together. And this actually doesn't take that long. You're going to see me make another mistake, and this is why I'm using a liquid adhesive, because if I glued the wrong back to front, I can peel them up and fix them in a jiffy. To make the box for the puzzle to go into, I pulled out some pink peach soft finish cardstock from Elizabeth Craft Designs and the triangle box die set, which got released also in January, and die cut out the form for the triangle box. And then using the Love Sentiments stamp set, I stamped out the love you to pieces, because how appropriate is that, sentiment stamp onto the box. So that way it would have, you know, my Valentine's Day message without having to work it onto the stamp set. If you, when you see the pictures at the end, you'll see I managed to get the sentiment onto the other puzzle, but the floral one I did not. I wanted to, on this box, also put kind of like an image of what's inside, like of what the puzzle is going to look like a, you know, a real puzzle box does. So I pulled out some 2-inch post-it tape and put it on the side here so it wouldn't be outside the little triangle impression on the die cut. You know, a little masking tape, or little masking. I made a mistake. I'm using my VersaFine ink, which I love because it's so crisp on this paper. The problem is it doesn't dry right away, so you have to be like ultra careful not to touch it because then you smudge. And I think I managed to get away not smudging, but I should have used an ink that dried a little bit faster, knowing that I was dealing with some masking. Here's where you see me as the world's worst stamper. Pull out, see there's where I smudged on the masking tape. Pull out and desperately try to stamp correctly without my stamping platform. And time to assemble the box. The great thing about this die set is it comes with all the pieces pre-scored, so folding it is actually not nearly as hard as you want to think it is, because all the work's been done for you. All you gotta do is fold it. And I pulled out my bone folder and just made sure my edges were nice and crisp. And using a little bit of 3mm clear double-sided adhesive, I finished assembling the box. If you don't know this adhesive, it's distributed by Elizabeth Craft Designs, and it is so wonderfully sticky. Once you place it down, it's down, and I love that. It's perfect for these kind of intricate box designs because it stays where it wants to be. Like, once you assemble it, it's done. I pulled out a little black ribbon, little satin ribbon, and finished off the box by tying a little bow. And it's just loose enough I can slip it over the notch hook in the front, but tight enough that the box stays closed and the puzzle pieces don't fall out. And I don't know if everybody else does this, but I still burn the edges of my satin ribbon to keep them from fraying. It's from years of doing ballet shoes. I always burned at the end of my point shoe ribbons. So yeah, I still do it with my ribbons so that way they stay nice and fresh. And here they are. Here's the 2 puzzles I assembled I crafted for my daughters for Valentine's Day. And you can see here how nicely each of the puzzle pieces snap into place. Yeah, I've assembled them too many times. I like puzzles. I think they're fun. We have big puzzle nights in our family because we're massive dorks. And there's nothing wrong with that. Our poor coffee table is almost always covered in a puzzle that the family is working on. But see how sweetly it snaps together? And if you look, the black paper still shows up from punching through the die cut. Thank you guys for watching today. Everything that you see here is available over at Elizabeth Craft Designs. If you like what you see, hit the dragon to subscribe, and thumbs up if you want to see more like this. Thanks for watching. Bye.